Hello, friends, fans, and everyone at Paiste. This is Gianni here, checking in. Right now, I am home for 3 weeks as I'm taking a break from Miami filming the show Voz Kids, which is the Spanish version of the popular TV show The Voice. You guys have may seen. I'm also a full-time instructor at the Drummers Collective in New York City, and I play on Rock of Ages on Broadway. And I'm also playing with Neal Morse, the progressive rock icon. So it's good to see everybody out there, and I hope everybody's doing great. Voz Kids is a major TV show on the Telemundo network that is being showed all over the world, especially in a lot of Latin American countries and as well as the United States. It's a very involved show as any other show like American Idol or The Voice. It's a pretty challenging show in that everything is filmed pretty much live to tape, meaning that there is no retakes. You have to film it right away and it gets recorded right away and sent right on the air. So when you play to click, you have to make sure everybody has a planned amount of measures ahead of time to come in at the right time, and you're not off with the sequence, which throws off the singers, and so on and so forth. So it's a very challenging gig in which you have to be on your toes at all time, but it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great talent out there, kids ranging from 7 to 14 years old, and it's just a real big honor to be part of the show. The music on La Voz ranges anywhere from your standard pop, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift type of songs, to Latin pop, to straight up salsa. So my cymbal setup ranges anything from your standard larger crashes for the pop rock stuff to some smaller splashes and stackable things for some of the Latin material. For instance, I have a set of timbales off to my left, and a bunch of blocks and cowbells and clave pedal and everything. So you have to have more effect type cymbals when you're playing that type of setup, almost more like a percussionist. And then the right side of my drum set is more like a standard drum set player. For the most part, I have a standard setup on my right side where I have a 14-inch Paiste signature dark crisp hi-hats. I have a 17-inch full crash, also signature, an 18-inch full crash, also signature, a 2002 heavy ride, and a 18-inch, I have to remember, an 18-inch signature China off to my right. I also have a couple different splash cymbals. I have a stackable setup, which I have an upside down 10-inch 20 cymbal on top of a 10-inch signature splash. So it adds an interesting sound. So I'm an active sub on the Rock of Ages Broadway show in New York City. It's a really great show to play. It's a pretty challenging show, not so much musically, but for energy reasons. It's a 2-hour and 45-minute show, and you really have to be on your toes at all time, being that there's a monitor you're always watching. You're also triggering a lot of click track to make sure you're on time with the actors, and you're watching a lot of cues around you. Normally, when I'm not out of town, I am a full-time instructor at the Drummers Collective in New York City, and I've been there for between 7 and 8 years now. I studied there when I was younger, and it is such an honor to be a full-time instructor there, as the organization is great, the other teachers are great, the students are great, and it's just a wonderful time. However, my main interest of teaching is a lot of progressive styles of music, everything from polyrhythms and odd time playing to multi-limb independence, multi-pedals, 5, 6, 7 pedals, and various sounds around the drum set. I've been involved with playing polyrhythms and multiple limb independence for almost my whole life of playing. I was always involved in a lot of the progressive drummers coming up through time. About a year ago, I started playing with the great Neal Morse, progressive icon from Spock's Beard. I was lucky enough to get the audition and win the audition and sub for the great Mike Portnoy, which has been a terrific time. I've been a fan of Neal's since the mid-90s when he started with Spock's Beard and through his solo stuff, and he's just really one of the most creative, gifted, genius musicians I've ever encountered. It is so much fun, but a lot of work to play for him because, like the Broadway shows I mentioned, I am playing someone else's gig. So whereas there is room for creativity, a lot of the material and the learning curve comes from being very specific to Mike Portnoy's parts, to the structure of the songs, and to the musicality that they created on record, and trying to keep that as close as possible. He does 3-hour shows, so it's a lot of playing, a lot of work, a lot of memorization, but it's just an unbelievable amount of fun, and it's so much fun to be on stage and in a room with him, as he's influential every time I play with him. For those interested in seeing my work, you can find me on YouTube with the polyrhythmic type videos and a lot of live videos. You can find me at my website at www.jasongiani.com. You can also find me at the Collective website, www.thecollective.edu, and also my book's website, if you know my book, The Drummer's Bible, at www.drummersbible.com. So, hope to see you guys out there on the internet, or some live shows, and talk to you soon.